I wanted to talk to you this morning. But I mean, Max suggested this. If you want to, you don't have to do anything. Because we always put ourselves in the pit of, pain and sorrow. But, no, Max went ahead and spoke about how specifically even the zoning is illegal. Can't cable system, all that kind of stuff. And might consider asking the commissioners to pass an ordinance that if a board is not functional and breaking the law like the zoning board is, maybe they shouldn't get funded.
That sounds like a wonderful thing.
Yeah, you might suggest if you want to. Or, I thought, well, I could bring like backup information, but no, left it in the printer. Oh, okay. Yeah, there you go.
But I think they're going to do this. They have a moment of silence.
I don't know, we'll see. We'll see.
We'll show outside. We got some questions.
But yeah, that would might.
Okay, everybody please stand and say the pledge. Brenton, will you give the prayer? I will.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Bow our heads, please. Most gracious Heavenly Father, we do thank you for this day and for your many blessings, Father, that you've given us. And thank you for Jesus who died on the cross so we can have life eternal. And Father, just thank you for all the people that come out for this commissioner's meeting today. Father, just give us clear minds and open our hearts to what's best for the county. And just go with us now. Lead, guide, and direct us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Thank you.
Thank you. Need approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Second. We got a motion by Todd, second by Tony. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Public comments. Ms. Brenton?
We had some pretty heinous things happen in our country this last week, including the fact that spam calls have not been eliminated, even though I have that on Do Not Disturb. The first thing I want to do is call for unity in our county. I am very distraught about what happened last week, as a lot of people are. And so for the first minute of my time, starting now, I would like to just offer 1 minute of silence for Charlie Kirk and his public execution and martyrdom. And for the remaining time, I just want to call for everyone in Washington County to do the right thing and to keep our eye on the prize. This is not our eternal resting place. Heaven is our eternal home. And I hope to see you all there. In the meantime, I would like to hold people accountable to the laws of this county and to the laws of this state, specifically with regard to the boards. I'm now on the Plan Commission, And I am earnestly wanting to make sure that the Planning Commission, along with the other boards in this county, are operating legally by the spirit and letter of the law. And I propose that if a board, whether the one that I'm on or any of the others, if they are operating illegally, then they should not be funded. And so I would call that we look very, very carefully at what we're doing in this county to make sure that it indeed aligns with the Constitution federally, the Constitution of the state, and of course, any local statutes, any state statutes that are not in contravention of both the federal and the state constitutions. But most of all, I'm just calling for common sense. I love this country. I love the people of this country and this county. And I want to make sure that we are all working together towards a common goal, which is a better life for all of us. And being left alone to live our lives in the way that we see fit, as long as we're not hurting anybody else. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. James Kramer here. In regards to Hartsburg Fire Department? No? Okay. I need approval of the minutes of August 20th, 21st, and September 2nd of 2025. Everybody ready?
So moved.
Second.
John made a motion, Tony second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Approval of claims and payroll. Had a chance to look them over. Any questions?
No questions. Make a motion to approve.
John made a motion, Tony second.
Second.
Gotta hit it.
Yep.
Didn't have anybody left.
Keep quick.
Adoption of the ADA transition plan, Title 6.
Yes, you just had the public hearing on it at the last meeting, and
Any questions about it?
I have no questions.
Any approval of the ADA plan?
I'll make that motion.
Tony made a motion,
Second.
Todd second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Elimination of the groundskeeper position.
Commissioners, this is agenda item to eliminate the groundskeeper position pursuant to a memorandum of understanding with the 4A or the Fair Board. The county have the ability to allow for this position, and ultimately it is the county's decision based on the fairgrounds recommendation whether or not to keep this position.
Based on the Fair Board's recommendation, this is not an easy decision, but we have to respect the wishes of the Fair Board. And I want to remind everyone of what Mr. Shell said in his opening prayer. Open our hearts to do what is best for our county, and that is our only goal. Based on that, I make a motion to eliminate the fairgrounds position.
Anything you want to say?
I got stuff I want to say. When they do say it, they do it.
I know every year, roads, we go back a long ways, and it's always an obstacle. And then from July, we moved it up to June, because it was too hot in July, and you've done a heck of a job. And I don't know that that came to say anything, except the Vegas wasn't quite produced enough. And we asked these volunteers to come in and donate time and effort to the community and to the county. I commend you for everything you do. and not just you, but the ones in the past that I grew up with and knew about. And it's always an obstacle getting ready. I can't condemn Andy Lee. I think he's done a good job. I think the road does bear on to the county. And I want to commend you. And with that being said, if this is your wishes, and you think you've got a different route that can save money and make it better, I have to go along with it. I really have said too much, but that's the way I feel. So if that's your wishes, and we'll try it that way and see what happens. But we are subject to change if it don't work. But you got a good staff. So with that, I'll make a second for Brian's motion.
When will this be effective? I mean, there's a few questions need to be answered, people want to know, so.
Are you ready to start right now?
It's effective immediately. We got a second.
Okay.
Well, I can't go along with it, that's what it's effective immediately, I mean.
Well, I think as far as the position itself, that's another thing that's got to be worked out. So, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Yes?
Aye.
Okay. Rick Woods. Let's see if I can.
Got a few things for you here. Here, I got one for you. All right, quick update, the 2025 community crossing paving has been completed. All went well, had some compliments on it, did a good job. We have received one of our new tandems that we've had ordered for right at 3 years. Supposed to have another one possibly next week, and then about a month out, the third one should be completed, so we'll have those before the snow starts. As you know, we started the process working on the Ratcliffe Road Highway 150 intersection down there. Been in contact with MDOT and HWC Engineering. I've got a contract here from HWC to perform the topographical survey, the permitting, the design, erosion control, cost estimates, utility coordination, and bidding services. I just need a signature for that.
Is that required by CAP or?
It's just a major intersection improvement. You know, by the time it's said and done, the intersection right at the highway will be almost twice as wide. There's a very poor turn when you consider that. And we've got a semi turnover trying to deliver goods.
Everybody will be able to go through.
And again, that's a project where NDOT will be involved every step of the way. Basically, an NDOT project we're paying for, if you would. Things are just a little higher when you build that up. Just a lot of people to jump through.
Casey. You're at work. Today.
16.
construction on this, it's 2027, but we're gonna do everything we can to try to hurry the process up and get it done in 2026, but the initial deadline was the 27th, so 26 is our hope, but if it is 27, it's not gonna be a shocker. Bridge 39, bids will be due at the next meeting, October 7th, so keep an eye out for those. And next up, I have an inventory update. As you know, every so often we do a road inventory update. I've got a few of those go over here. And this is where I have to send a copy of the minutes from the state, so we'll have to keep pretty close tabs on this and see me go over it afterwards. No problem. First was Middle District Road, IR 280. We need to correct that. It's currently 1.903, and we will be correcting that to 1.822. That's a reduction of 0.081, and that is the dead end section on the west end. We've not maintained that for 20 years, but it appears in the inventory still.
Where's that at?
Out behind Campbellsburg. It's a road that jumps between two roads, and at the end there's a driveway. It shows up as being ours. It's not been ever, it's not been for 20 years. That's the first one. These two go together. I'll start with the one we want to take out of the inventory. It is John's Lane. These are both off 66, towards Ardenburg. John's Lane IR 628 currently is 0.2645. We need to correct that to 0 and remove from the inventory. Reason being, these two roads are on Highway 66 side by side and almost identical. One of them we take care of and one of them we don't. And they've got them flip-flopped. Old Unity Cemetery Road is beside this, and we do maintain that, and it doesn't appear in the GIS or inventory. So we need to add Old Unity Cemetery Road in the distance of 0.245. 0.245.
Does that stop at the cemetery or?
Yeah.
is it-
And you know where the other one, that John's
Oh,
Lane,
I grew up right there.
there are two side-by-side roads, and somehow along the line got flip-flopped, and the one we don't take care of, the one that goes up, and the one we do, just get it straightened out. The next one is Cedar Lane. Cedar Lane shows up twice. We're getting paid for 2 miles of Cedar Lane, and we only actually maintain 1 mile. I'll start with the one we need to take out. It is hold on, I'm getting confused, they're just alike. It is IR 398 Cedar Lane. It is currently 1.147. We need that corrected to 0 and removed from the inventory. The next one is Cedar Lane, IR 617, which shows up as 0.7959, and we need that corrected to 1.0554.
What's that?
That's off of Highway 150, and if you look at GIS mapping, there's 2 identical roads. One is the correct length in the wrong location, and the other one shows up as the incorrect length in the right location. And where the one shows up, there's nothing. There never has been a road. It's a fence road. Never. So it's just that's what I hate about the internet. Everybody finds information on the internet and runs with it, and you know the internet's only as smart as the people who put the information in.
So what was that IR number on the second one?
The second one, IR 617, distance was 0.7959. We need that corrected to 1.0554.
So are both of these Cedar Lanes in close
Yes.
proximity to one another?
I have a map here to show you because I knew it'd be a little confusing.
Well, I when you look at this.
Yeah.
So in other words, they're not on separate sides of the camera.
Now they're side by side. They entered it incorrectly. This is the one we're taking out, which never was a road, and this is the one we do take care of. So it's just when they entered it, they've got 2 separate IR numbers, so we'll take one IR number.
Oh, I see, I can see how that can happen. And you said that's a fence forever.
Yeah, there's never been a road. Holler on trees.
Okay.
And the final one is Dogwood Valley. Dogwood Valley is off of Cedar Lane. We need to add it to the inventory, 0.4117. That's the one got paid several years ago, and we've been maintaining it since, so we might as well get paid for it.
Okay.
And that is the last stuff. And like I said, I'll be glad to go over with Kyrie, because that's a lot of numbers to get thrown. And I think that's all I've got, unless you have some questions for me.
I have a question. This keeps coming up, it has been since the beginning of time. Recently, a couple of months ago, Daniel Bland, the surveyor here, he informed us a fact that I wasn't aware of. I had my suspicions, but he works in a lot of counties in southern Indiana, and he said that Washington County has more private roads than any other county that he's ever worked in his life. And I'm not gonna pick on anybody. We know 30, 40 years ago when the farm economy was bad, people started selling on farms, and people came in and put these so-called subdivisions in. Naturally, they weren't done right. They weren't brought up to county standards that would allow us to someday take them over as roads. There was nothing being done, very little gravel put on, no ditches, no culverts. They just created subdivisions. And we literally have hundreds and hundreds of these. With the housing issues, these are coming up for sale more frequently now, and we're getting into this ugly animal, and I really don't even want to talk about it, because I know it's an issue with you, and it's an issue for everybody, because it spells additional money. But the only thing I'm suggesting is, and I think we've talked about this before, as far as taking some of these over, someday we will have to. So my plan is, and don't go hog wild, but if we could just adopt one a year or every 2 years, some of these subdivisions that have been brought up to spec or were put in reasonably well, that already have ditches and already have culverts, and say a subdivision that's let's say it's a mile long, and it is 20 feet wide, and say there's, several residents there, because that's what we're getting into. We're getting into complaints from school bus drivers, getting into complaints from mailmen, and then you talk about emergency services. So, I know it's something, Rick, you don't want to hear. I don't want to hear it either, but I do get a lot of calls on that. If we do one a year or one every 2 years, then probably all we're going to do is get someone else upset who didn't get their road paid. But at least we would be making an attempt, or if we can just come up with a plan for the future, because
A few I can add to that, a few obstacles we deal with there, and like you say, we do get several calls. First, like you said, which ones do you do, which ones don't you do? I'll throw pretty in there, because they've been coming for years. I would say the same thing, and their deeds say it on there that when the last lot sold, the county will take it over. I don't know who put that in there. Another issue is the contractors, the ones that are building the subdivisions now. They are paying them if they want them adopted. There's a couple out there off on 60, so it's not really fair to them. They pay for their asphalt, and anybody can pay for a culvert, anybody can pay to have a ditch dug. Asphalt's always the holdup because it's an astronomical number. And I did make a list there a few years ago. South of Salem, there are 50 private Indiana land subdivisions that are what they are, and there's 50 of them. Now you go in there and figure mileage, it's astronomical. Like if we start down this road, there's going to be more manpower, there's going to be more trucks. Because I promise you, a mile of road out in the middle of nowhere causes you very little trouble. A mile of road in a subdivision, everybody's got a mailbox, a leaf, there's something every day. I hate subdivisions. I don't think subdivisions should have anything to do with the county highway. Subdivision's a subdivision. That's just my stance.
Well, it's the truth, and I mean, it creates, solving one problem creates another. You got your school buses, which are bigger, it's hard to get around, and you throw snow compounded into it, you got another. You got about 1,500 miles of roads if you figure both sides of it, a little better than that. Now we're gonna start having more. I'm not opposed to it.
Right, it's a nice spot, there's just nowhere to stop.
That's what
And
I'm
I fall back on the plow and snow, because you can cover 5 or 10 miles of road in the amount of time it took you to go in one subdivision. It's more than just taking care of the subdivision. It's a booby trap.
Unfortunately, what you just said may be the best solution. If it's a subdivision, it's a subdivision, and just,
I mean, I know that makes people mad, but that seems to be my specialty, facts are facts. And we don't have any business in that.
I don't disagree with you. Anyway, conversation for another day, I suppose.
Good to me.
Thank you.
I think we got a break. Paul? Not my thing. How are you?
All right, how you all day?
Quick update, out there at the office, the framer's putting all the metal on the inside of the big room, getting that ready for the electricians later on this week. They're aware of it, so they'll probably start on the inside, doing all the conduits and outlets and such for the conference room in the office. You've been out there, you've seen the mechanics garage go up. They have started framing on the inside of the mechanics garage. The insulator was either getting done yesterday or you got a little bit today to finish on the mechanics garage. They have already started putting the metal up on the inside on the ceiling, and they'll just, after they get done with the office, they'll work back to the mechanics garage, which will open up all the subs on it also. Been back out there pouring some site concrete, but there's a bunch to finish, but they did sidewalk in front of the office, the fuel lanes at the fuel shed, and then they'll start working on the sign shed and truck lane too, and just kind of work our way around, stay out of each other's way. Site utilities, the electrical, got an inspection yesterday and an approval, so they got to drive like another ground rod, and they'll be pretty well done with the site electrical here today or tomorrow.
That's on the primary.
On primary, on the inspection, yes. Secondary, they're finishing that up also.
And they pulled the water back to the shop.
No, sir. No, sir.
And last time I was out there, had you poured the slabs for the generators?
Not yet. Basically, that's coming up next. We're trying to get some other things for the trickling to the sign shed. And we got our dimensions on the generator pads, and we're going to incorporate that to like the sidewalk off the back of the building.
Okay.
And then also the that mechanics garage will incorporate that, because I think they did 8-foot aprons outside the doors. So we'll just extend that for that generator pad.
And then on the 80, compliant for the ADA, is that Frank
I believe so.
away in?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll need to be planned.
Okay.
Yes.
And did the Gravers were supposed to start this week or last week on the south end?
They came back last Thursday afternoon, was at the mechanics garage. So I'm having them concentrate on those two. And then when they're at the mechanics garage in the office, and as soon as they get done, they do have everything for the salt, the mixed salt building, the trusses. They got everything for it. So I'm concentrating on where I got more subs right now, and then they'll jump onto the salt bed.
Okay.
And the salt storage buildings, mixed salt and salt building. Also started some site grading to get ready for blacktop. So we're just kind of working around everybody that's out there.
Don't get too big in a hurry, okay? We don't want to cut it. Make sure everything's in there. Any questions?
Are you on schedule?
Yes, sir.
Gonna hand us the keys November 1st?
Real close to that, yes.
that construction could be way out.
Thank you, Paul. And you want to go?
Still up, thank you.
Cameron? Councilman, you have anything to say?
Yes, I do. I don't want to open up a can of worms, but, I just think, that, Randy covered all deal here without, talking to him, but, you need to look closer at the fairgrounds, who's running it, who don't want to put out money to get things done, and I don't think they done them due diligence, but, I guess, you went along with the fair board, and they're, even though they're volunteers, they're not doing their job. They're letting one guy run the fairgrounds, and that's the treasurer, and the vice president and president don't have no say-so. So, that's all I gotta say.
That needs to be elected, just, or elected, on the fair board, as public elected.
They're an independent corporation. We simply fund them to have a county fair every year. They have nothing to do with the county other than that. And as you are so frequently telling me all the time, what you just said is your opinion. Thank you.
And your opinion too.
Thank you, President.
Motion to adjourn.
Got a motion by Todd,
Second.
Tony second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye.